Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome in.
Welcome to week 2 in our 4-week live coaching demos series, where we will be coaching live and you guys can watch it happen. Feel free to still comment and share and like and all of those good things. We would love to hear from you. But we may not share or will not share your comments while the coaching sessions are happening, so as not to distract the client or the coach, and let that be organic. But if you are watching along, you're welcome to still add your comments, and we will refer back to them once that the coaching session is finished. And feel free to like and share and all of that good stuff too. What else am I forgetting? I guess the structure, right? This will be a 30-minute session or so. Mm-hmm. Are we doing 30 minutes on the dot, y'all?
Close enough.
Yes.
Close to around
there. Okay, great. And today I will be coaching Jen. And
Yay.
not gonna lie, I am rusty. I haven't coached in a while, and in several months. So I'm going to do my best to stick to our ACC markers to get the points in there, but I may not be perfect, and I am okay with that. And so
we are okay with that.
Anthony can you go ahead and tell me all the places I make mistakes once the session is done.
Yeah.
Not during.
No.
I'll interrupt.
Was somebody going to say something?
No, I just think it's good for people to see imperfection. I think it was very helpful for me as I was getting my ACC, getting my PCC, seeing, this coaching that's done on these stages and sometimes seems like it's a setup. That never helped me. Seeing real coaching with real human moments, that is what helped me. So I think it'll be good.
Well, in that case, should we dive in? Should we go right into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about how you're feeling right now, being on show and on the stage. Are you good? Are you comfortable?
Well, me or Jen?
You.
Oh, I'm good. I'm, of course, again, I said I may not be perfect, but I've made my peace with that. And I'm okay. Always learning. I don't need, I think I messaged Jen. I said, please don't worry about my ego in this session. I want you to just worry about you. I am strong and tough, and I know, because we're friends. So sometimes when these things come up, like we want to be extra nice to our friends, but I was like, I can handle it. I'm not fragile. So feel free after the session to tell me if things aren't working or didn't work. And then during, feel free to tell me if things aren't working. So either way is good. I want it to be about Jen. So
thank you. And Jen, do you have anything, nerves or anything you want to share?
Yeah, I'm actually more nervous as the client than I was as the coach last week. So that's interesting. We'll find out what that's about.
Okay. Well, do we want to just start and get it going?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. We're going to mute and turn the videos off, and our team's going to get going. Thank you.
Is my volume good?
Yes. And is mine good?
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to do, a quick check-in before we get started and make sure that you have everything you need for us to get going. And yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hi, Jen.
Hi.
What would you like to work on today?
So I had a conversation recently with another coach about a topic, and the idea of adding fun came up, and I sat with that idea, and I couldn't figure out a way to add fun to this thing. And so I think there's strategy that needs to happen, or maybe that's a limiting belief. I'm not sure. Basically, it's around like I would say cleaning and organizing my space, which is a reoccurring issue, but it's at a point where I'm sick of it and I want to address it.
So I'm hearing that you want to add fun to cleaning.
If I can. I don't know that I can, to be honest with you. So I don't know if it's possible.
Tell me about that hesitation there.
I just when I when I sat with that, oh, how can I make this fun? I was just like irritated. Like, no, this isn't fun to me. It's never going to be fun to me. And then it's like, well, why does it have to be fun? It's just one of those things that I need to do because I'm an adult and you have to do stuff that sucks and stuff you don't like doing. Not everything can be fun. So I think I'm at the point where I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm saying that out loud for the first time. I know that I'm okay with it. I just now need to strategize on how to do something that is not fun. That's all, because I don't want to do it, but yet I don't like the consequences of not doing it.
What would this getting this cleaning done mean for you?
What would it mean for me? I don't know. I would imagine that I would feel better about myself. It's interesting that it's related to my self-esteem somehow. I think I would feel better. I would feel better functioning in my home. And ultimately, if I function better in my home, that would make me feel better about myself. So that's an interesting connection that I hadn't realized, is that I don't feel good about or I'm connecting not feeling good about myself with not being clean and organized. I didn't realize I was doing that.
So being organized allows you to feel good about yourself.
Yes. Yeah, which is why I'm always like up and down all the time, because I don't prioritize being organized. I prioritize other things. And that is a nagging thing. I don't like how it feels to not be organized. I don't like how it feels to function in chaos. Just because I can do it doesn't mean that I want to do it. I don't like the idea that I just keep each weekend I just kick the can down the road further. It's like, oh, not this weekend, I'll do it next weekend. Not this weekend, I'll do it next weekend. And here we are like a year later. It's like, it's just annoying. Like, Jen, what are you doing?
I'm hearing this word prioritize coming up. What's important about that?
Well, I just know that, everything has a opportunity cost. I'm very aware of that. And I understand, at least I feel like I know how to prioritize things to at least enough of an extent to where I feel good about myself in general. Like, I know what I need to prioritize to feel good about myself. But it's not 100%. And I'm just realizing, saying that out loud, I don't know if it can be 100%. It might not be possible. I may not be able to prioritize every single thing I want to do, unless we can create some sort of, I don't know, time continuum thing where we can create more time in my life where I have time to do everything that I'm doing now and time to do stuff I don't want to do. Yeah.
So what's possible in this session? What can we do in this session?
Mm-hmm. I think I want to talk through what I experience when I attempt to clean or organize a space, I think I need clarity around that because I like being prepared, and just being prepared for what's going to come up, I think will allow me to step into action from a more empowered place. So I'd like to just explore and talk about, you know, what I experience when I clean and organize.
You want to talk about what you experience when you clean and organize.
Yeah.
And how will we know when we have been successful talking that through?
Yeah. I will feel different. I don't know what I will feel, but I will feel different than I feel right now, which is I feel irritated and I feel defeated, and I feel almost like, I don't know, just over it, sick of it. And I think after exploring it, I'm going to feel different. So that would be my indicator that this was a success.
So you want to explore what you're feeling when you are cleaning, and you will know that you have been successful when it has shifted from how you are feeling now to something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is our first step?
Well, I think it's important for me to recognize that, like, if we just start with, if I reduce it down to thinking about one area, which is right now, like the pantry, and I think about like cleaning out the pantry, I have a hard time getting rid of things. So I am going to start, and what's going to happen is that I'm going to go back and forth of whether I should get rid of something or not. And then I'm going to judge myself for having such a dilemma and not being able to just make a decision. And then I'm going to like kind of talk crap to myself about it. Like, you're such a loser. Why can't you just do this? What's wrong with you? And then I'm going to finally just go, you know what? Screw it. It can all stay in the pantry. And I don't even care. Like, I cannot deal with the it's like mental anguish, like this like torturous thing that comes up. I just notice it's familiar to other things, and I have the skills to like meet myself in that moment where I notice, okay, I notice you're judging yourself for not being able to get rid of something. And I'm just noticing that it feels familiar, that I might actually already have the tools on how to deal with it. So I kind of just want to like bookmark that, because I think the point of this right now is just to acknowledge that, like, I care a lot about like being wasteful and like I care to a point where it's like, I wish I didn't care. It would be easier if I didn't care. And I think like just acknowledging that is, and maybe, I don't know, I think that's just a part of me that wants to be recognized as like, maybe that's not a bad thing. It can get in the way. It can be like a saboteur, if you will. It can be it can be an obstacle, but at the end of the day, it's just a part of me that like cares about, like, you know, the planet, the environment. Like, why am I so upset at this part when it comes up? You know, it's kind of, yeah, I'm creating drama around a part of me that like I enjoy. I like that part of me. I think that's a quality about me that I like.
So as you're sharing right now, I'm going to share an observation with you, if that's okay. But I saw a moment where, when you were speaking about judgment and you were speaking about caring about the environment, there was, it appeared to be like a sense of sadness there before you came back to laughter and forgiving yourself.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Is there anything in that sadness you want to explore?
You know, I think it's like, it's like a hopelessness of like, it doesn't matter what I do. It's not going to make a difference. It doesn't matter if I throw out my whole pantry. It's not going to make a dent in, you know, like, I think there's sadness because I recognize the reality of like, So, okay, I didn't answer that question, but I don't know that I need to, because something else just came up, and that is like, what is it costing to, like, I'm seeing some sort of cost benefit analysis, right? Like, it's fine that I care. And I think this idea that, you know, I can't make a difference, you know, by trying to be somewhat, you know, reasonable and not be wasteful. I think at the end of the day, it's like legitimately holding me back from living a life that feels better. Like, the clutter represents this idea that I can't make a difference. It's like it's like a physical representation of like, and I mean, the idea that I can't make a difference, you know, is that true? I don't know. I think in terms of cleaning out my pantry, I don't think that it's relevant. That's what it is. That's what I'm realizing. Okay. So I'm connecting this one act to like making a difference. That's what the problem is. That's why it feels so sad. That's why it feels so heavy, is that it's not just like I'm cleaning out my pantry. It's like I'm either making a difference in the world or I'm harming the planet. Like, it's like way bigger than it actually is. Okay, that's very helpful. That is helpful. I don't know if I answered your question. I don't even remember what you asked me.
How are you feeling now?
Relieved. That was an important thing to identify. It now that I've identified it, now that I have the awareness of it, it's now a choice. I didn't know before, so it wasn't a choice because it was subconscious, but now it's a choice. So now when I go to my pantry, I get to decide, is this about making a difference in the world, or is this just about cleaning out your pantry so you can feel better and live better? I didn't have that choice before. Now I do. So that's excellent. Whew.
What does having that choice do for you?
It allows me to choose the version of the experience that I want. It allows me to choose. It's like choose your own adventure. I get to choose whether the act of cleaning out my pantry is bigger than the act of cleaning out my pantry. That's great.
I saw a smile.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, it's so clear now. It's so clear. And it was so in the shadows. Like, it was not apparent at all it just took a little bit of talking. Yeah, that feels better.
So we were talking about exploring how you're feeling when it comes to cleaning and organizing. And we've talked about this concept of saving the world, and I'll just say this way, and you can tell me if it connects, and saving your sanity.
Yeah, that does connect.
What else do we need to explore in this space?
I actually really love that, saving the world versus saving my sanity. Like that make saving the world, saving my sanity. Like I can see those choices so clearly now. That's so great. That was so helpful. What else? I think this awareness is powerful enough that I can strategize now, that we can start talking about next steps, because there could be something there that needs a little bit more sorting through. So.
Okay, so we're going to shift from exploring the feeling to exploring next steps.
Yeah, that feels right.
Okay. So what's our next steps?
So if I like the idea of staying focused on the pantry. And if I focus on it, like for this weekend, the first thing that I think of is when there's a task or something that I don't necessarily want to do, or it feels hard, or has anything other than fun and excitement surrounding it, my go-to is to get it done in the morning, like first thing, not like first thing, but like once I'm up, that becomes that's my first priority of the day. And I have not approached it like that. And that is for a long time, and still to some extent, how I approach working out. And that works tremendously, because it's just like, I know, oh, it's the morning. That means it's your time for that. And there's no objecting. The only thing is my weekends can be unpredictable. And so stuff can come up, and that could derail that plan. But I think what I need to do is just go forward with that plan of doing it first thing Saturday morning, and like just get it done and get it out of the way. And then I can celebrate the rest of the weekend. My God, that I did something that I have been wanting to do and have been avoiding for a very long time. I think that would feel good to the point where it might entice me to do it again. So the next step is to commit to doing it first thing Saturday morning. Committing to honoring the choice of choosing my sanity when I do it. And maybe putting a time limit on it too. I can work differently when I know what my time constraints are. So I think just putting an hour, like setting a timer. Yeah, that sounds good. Setting a timer for an hour, and then when the timer goes off, whatever I got done, and I get to move on. Hopefully I will have finished. I think I will have finished. If I'm paying attention to the fact that I only have an hour, I will have finished. So yeah, that feels like the strategy, at least that I need to start with this new awareness.
So Saturday morning, setting a timer for 1 hour, and celebrating afterwards. Big smile when you said celebrating the rest of the weekend. I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in need of doing this for myself for a long time. And the idea of actually following through with it is enough to make me feel good. So I can only imagine how it's going to feel when I actually do follow through with it.
Is there any challenges you see in this that we should explore?
The possibility that something comes up, I think, is slim for this Saturday. I think the only potential challenge that I could see is that I, for some reason, relapse into my save the world thinking, and I spiral, and the next thing you know, I've ignored my timer and I've been doing it for 2 hours, and now I've sacrificed my time for my workout or whatever else it is that I have planned. That would really bother me. And so I think just being aware of the potential for that is helpful to think about. Because if I did that, I would be so mad at myself. So that's good. That's good to know. I think the biggest challenge is going to be continuing to recommit to the mindset, to the choice of saving my sanity. I literally, I can like envision myself throwing something out, like saying that, like saving your sanity, saving your sanity. Like I can just see the temptation for me to slip into the other mode, because that's how I've been operating for a very long time. So the timer is key. I know I have to honor the timer no matter what, because if I don't, the potential for harming myself in another way is there, and I don't want to do that to myself. So honoring the timer. If I regress and I slip back into saving the world and I only do a quarter of the pantry or half of the pantry, I'm going to be okay with that, because that will be a step at least in the right direction. I will have experimented and collected some new data for the next time, and I'll be more equipped to try it again. So nothing can go wrong as long as I honor the timer. That's really, really important to know. Nothing can go wrong if I honor the timer.
Is there any accountability you need?
I think I need to tell my husband, hey, this is what I'm doing, just to let you know. Just need to make him aware, in case he has some random like, hey, let's go do this. No, I got to do this first. That's my priority. He'll support it. He'll support it. So yes, I need to share it with my husband that that's what I'm going to do. And even further accountability would be if I told him, I'm going to report back to you when I'm done and let you know how it went. Not that he cares or doesn't care, like that's irrelevant. It's like just a marker for me to kind of show up to and you know, be accountable to. It's really, I'm being accountable to myself just through him. I'm just utilizing him as like a stand-in.
So when are you going to tell him?
I will tell him tonight when he gets home from work, and then I will remind him again on Friday night. Hey, just a reminder that tomorrow morning I'm going to be setting a timer for an hour and cleaning out the pantry first thing in the morning, and then I'm going to let you know how it went. So tonight and then again on Friday.
So we are Saturday setting a timer for 1 hour. Going to clean out the pantry. Ideally saving the sanity, but I heard if we don't make it through the whole pantry, you're going to give yourself grace. You will have collected data. You will know something, and you're going to move forward after that hour wherever you are at. And
yes,
for accountability, you're going to tell your husband and remind him as well, letting him know what you're doing and also reporting back to him how it went at the end of it all.
Yeah, that feels good.
Is there anything else in the last few minutes we have here that you want to explore? Anything that feels incomplete?
I don't think it's that it feels incomplete. I just think like I want to express how, you know, like there's nothing inherently wrong with me needing to strategize to do the things that I want to do. You know, I think I've got this part of me that's judgmental about it. It's like, you are not adulting well. You know, there's this part of me that is, she's awful.
Who are you telling that to?
And
who are you saying that to?
Sorry, what was that?
When you say
it's me. It's another version of me. Oh, okay. Are we back?
Yeah, no, you're fine. We're back. We're good. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's another version of you.
Yeah, it's like a younger version of me. It's like a bratty, judgmental teenage girl version of me. And I just think that the adult, fully conscious version of me right now is like, it's not a big deal. So what? You have to strategize to get done something that you don't like doing. Why? What's the problem? Why would you make this a problem? Like, it's fine. Just go do it. So I think I needed to acknowledge that as like, the part of me that's judging me is not true me. It's not real me. It's not whole me. It's not authentic me. It's like just a younger part of me who just doesn't know any better and judges everything. So yeah, that's important for me to remember, is that at the end of the day, there's no shame in me having to strategize. In fact, this is more adulting by strategizing how to adult. That's pretty adult of me, I would say.
What do you feel?
So different from when we started. Lighter. I feel more optimism. I feel like there's more possibility. I feel more compassion for myself. I feel more empowered. I feel more conscious of my choices, my choice point, whatever you want to call it. I just, I feel grateful too. Like this is night and day from when we started. I don't know if you can tell, but I was not good when we started. And now look I'm sitting back, shaking out my shoulders. Like I've got this. I just connected with that in this session. So success has been met, I would say.
So is there anything else?
No, this feels complete now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I think we can bring everybody back in.
I think we were we under or 30 minutes exact?
I think it was like exact.
Almost exact.
Wow. Nice.
I have my eye on the timer.
How are you feeling about your coaching session?
Good. There was one or two times I had stack questions I didn't love, and there was one or two times that I asked a closed-ended question that could have been an open-ended question, but otherwise I think I hit my markers pretty well. Huh? You let me know, mentor coach.
And Miss Jen, how did you feel like your coaching session went?
Well, it's so funny because as the client, I'm not judging the way I would if I was an evaluator or mentor. I'm not, it's a different lens. So from a client lens, that was perfect. So whatever you did wrong or not the best or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. I got what I needed. And so I think that's really important for people to see is that, like, perfection is not required. Just, I mean, the
Although that
fact that
was
you,
pretty perfect.
the fact that you just stayed with me and allowed me the space to go where I needed to go. You never led. It just, I felt like it was a very safe space. I didn't feel judged by you. I just felt really good as the client. Taking the client hat off and putting on mentor or evaluator. I felt that you were definitely more in PCC.
Mhm.
A lot of the time you were very much
Agreed.
coaching
Agreed.
the person, not the problem. You were noticing things, you were asking deeper into things. Comp 3 and comp 8, I believe were hit.
I had my notes over to the side just to make sure, like my little, just so ever to be completely fair and upfront with what I was doing. I had just really the shortest distance between 2 points as just a soft reminder. These are the things I need to get to. And then once I've gotten to them, and then the nice thing with 8 is 8 doesn't have to happen. Like 8 can happen towards the end, right? But it can be a little more organic. So those were just there as like soft reminders, and I felt like it came up organically in the conversation.
Mhm.
You weren't using them as check boxes, right?
I did not check boxes. No, there was no box checking.
And also what I liked from an evaluator or mentor standpoint was you took your time with comp 3 and you asked me to go deeper from the beginning without trying to set the session, the measurement of success. We explored before you did that, and I needed that. So I think that's really important to point out, is that you don't have to back questions, stack questions or ask them back to back. Like, you need to be present with your client the same way you are in, the bulk of the session and the exploration. You just have to make sure you're also including your measure of success. But yeah, your presence in the beginning was good. I needed that, and I needed the deeper dive to get to understand what I wanted. So that was great.
Yeah, because you arced a bit. You were at first like, I need to have fun. And then we came to this whole other place of like, wait, that's not what I need. Like,
yeah, that's a great call out. And you even reflected that, and I was like, well, no, that's not really it. Or I got to that at some point. And so again, being, willing to reflect without the fear of being wrong. It's okay that you're wrong. Your client is just going to use it. I think of it as like a bumper on a bowling alley. That's all you were for me in that moment. That's perfect. That's what I needed.
Lisa, I saw we interrupted you.
No, it's all good. I was just going to go through what she came in with wasn't quite what she wanted to walk away with. You allowed that space of growth in the discussion to find the breath of where she wanted to really work. You didn't jump on to everything she said. You gave it back to her. She chose what she wanted to focus on. The especially thing I appreciate, because a lot of coaches will reflect the whole thing. You took the nutshell of what she said and gave it back to her and let her determine where she wanted to go with it. You, in your questioning, and I would agree, it was more PCC than anything. Stacking, you mentioned stacking questions. I didn't feel like they were exactly stacking. I felt like they were the same question.
It's the same question reworded.
Yeah, you had it formulated. And so the only thing I would say there is just when you feel like yourself in that space, just give yourself a pause, and just go and a breath before opening up that next question or whatever. that can be helpful to refocus.
No, that's fantastic feedback.
But I don't think it was a stacking question per se, and I don't feel like that would have been a takeaway, if you will. It would be a room for growth for sure, but I don't feel like that's a takeaway. And then you said, so we've got in this industry that we're not allowed to have any closed-ended questions, and we absolutely are. Allowed to have closed-ended questions. And I feel like when you had the few that you mentioned, I think they were appropriate. You know, it's kind of like, are we going left or are we going right, kind of thing. And we can't really, it's the exchange. You're in the presence with your client. You were right there with her the whole time. You kept it simple. You were it felt confident. It felt grounded. There's the word I'm looking for. It felt grounded and not rushed, which I also appreciated. But the closed-ended, it doesn't matter. What you don't want to do is have an abundance of closed-ended and a few open-ended, right? So the other way around, a couple closed-ended is perfect.
Yeah, I think of it as like an open-ended question is evoking awareness most of the time. And a closed-ended question is getting either confirmation or clarity. You're kind of, it's a focus question. And so I think they are appropriately placed throughout the session at times without question. There are some times when they make sense.
It did feel like confirming. I feel like, because I always, whenever I ask a closed-ended question, I always do a big pause afterwards, like, because I expect their answer to be more than yes or no. So like, I kind of, like, I'm not going to talk after they just give me a yes or a no, let's say. I'm going to hold the space longer so they can expound without me asking them to expound. So that is something I do and I have noticed about myself. But I don't, thank you for pointing out that it's not necessarily wrong, right?
Yeah. Not at all.
When you're in the flow with your client's going to automatically, you know, especially with the pause, going to help fill in that space, give more information. So I didn't find anything inaccurate about that. I mean, I think it was a really good session.
Yeah, I do too. Both as the client and the evaluator.
I don't really have any critiques. You know, I don't think that, and you know, should there be some, I don't think it's important. I think you were right there with your client, and that's really what the focus is being present with your client, hearing what your client is saying, reflecting the bits back to your client, asking a question that's relative to what they're speaking now. There's a lot of new clients, they'll go out of left field and think they have to have this grandeur kind of question. My dogs are barking. Can you hear? They think they have to have this big old grandeur kind of question because, you know, by golly, they got to rock this session. And it's not about rocking the session. It's about really just staying present with your client so that you are following their lead, bringing up the information that they're sharing and the possibilities of where they want their growth to be. Yeah.
I want to say too, really grateful for competency 8 too. And Lisa and I spoke briefly before this call, and we just went over like, okay, what is necessary in competency 8 for ACC? And so I bolded some things in my notes and everything. And that does anything feel incomplete? Question brought up some really good stuff for Jen. So
yes,
like it's a great demonstration of how important that competency can be, and not to just throw it away. Yeah,
I think adding for this session is important because it confines it to what we talked about. It's not just open up a new session, because if you don't help it focus, it could go a whole new path, which is at the end of a session, you don't really want it to go down a whole new path in the sense of you're ending the session.
And also, I remember there's some warning we had gotten for a competency, or like when you're doing a submittable call. And I said, in the few minutes we have left, but it's better to say in the time we have left, right? Like it's that gentle reminder that it's coming to an end, right? No, but it doesn't matter.
I don't think those word choices are a big difference. So I would say, you know, whichever one you use, I I don't think it's
because the reason I tend to choose few minutes is so that the client knows how much time roughly we have left, and so they can bring their thoughts into that time period. And for me, in the time we have left, it's still pretty vague. So that's one of the reasons I say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in real coaching,
8.3, your competency 8.3, coach supports the client to close the session.
Yeah.
I think in your real sessions, in the 5 minutes we have left, in the 10 minutes we have left,
I wouldn't say the actual minutes necessarily.
Yeah, that's
because had you done it here, Jen went past it, right? She kind of gave more information, and you had another question after that. So in the few minutes, or I would be vague.
Vague-ish.
Yeah, in the few minutes we have left.
Mm-hmm. Anthony, you haven't said anything over there. You're supposed to be my biggest critic. What's happening?
You guys, as always, chatting back and forth. No criticisms. I mean, 3 and 8 kind of bookended it pretty well as far as the core competencies goes. I was a little antsy. This is more of a personal bias. I'm always antsy to be like, when is this going to translate to action? Like, what actually, because at the beginning, you said you wanted to feel different through exploration. And I'm showing my personal bias again. This is not really a critique, more of what is the benefit of nailing down how you want to feel different, because I can imagine you could feel worse about it. That's also different. But I also don't imagine that's what the client wants to feel at the end of a coaching session. Not really your intent is to feel worse about it.
So I think you're bringing
a good question,
because we are very familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so those kinds of questions, when we're friends and, family, those kinds of questions get forgotten. So really good point, Anthony.
So maybe, because it goes right, you went right into PCC level coaching, diving into how does she feel about this? Feels like saving the world. There's a lot of things that are deeper and under the surface. There is an argument, I think, for ACC coaches who are focused solely on their ACC to maybe nail down, well, what is feeling different going to actually achieve?
Yeah, what will feeling different do for you?
And what is different?
Yes, and I don't want to assume, I think this might be a bias that a lot of coaches have, is that because I feel different about something, that's going to automatically translate into doing different things or leading to different actions. So there might be that implicit bias at the beginning of the session. Maybe nailing down a little bit of competency 8 at the beginning might help lead into that. Now, you guys did great. It did obviously lead into accountability, action steps.
So as you're sharing, what's funny for me, like what my read, and maybe it's because I know Jen so well, and like I know that she operates a little the way I do, is that sometimes I can't get to that action piece until I explore the feeling piece, right?
Yep.
And so I know I had that thought, do I drill this down, or do I just take her word for it that feeling different is enough for this session, right? Yes, it led to action, but if that's, for me, I took her at her word that all she wanted, and it turned out to be more, right? But all she wanted for the session in the beginning was to feel different. And so we would have achieved something if that feeling had shifted. And that's why I confirmed it with her, even. Like, I confirmed, we want to feel different, right? And she was like, yes, that's what I want. That led into action. It absolutely did. And I'm pretty certain it would have led into some type of action regardless. It may not have been as specific as cleaning the pantry, but maybe, there's a number of ways we could have taken it. But I feel like in most cases, it's going to lead to some kind of action. And that's going to come up once the feeling is explored. But I think that's where the PCC, maybe it falls into that more PCC space.
Yeah.
It's honing your listening skills in general. I mean, as an ACC, I can't see it being a wrong thing to really hone in your listening skills. And actually acknowledging where Jen is speaking from, how she's speaking. Take your time, which is what I loved about your practice, is that you took your time in that space. I think a lot of coaches feel like they have to perform in that space. And that's so inaccurate. It's really just listening, which is, Anthony had a good point about exploring what that actually meant. But again, when I say we work with each other a lot. We practice what we preach. We coach each other, through business as well as private information. So that's the difference of coaching in a professional space where you are getting to know your client versus being familiar with your client and having enough growth and understanding to who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this was a great call out. Great question, Anthony. I think had Brooke asked the question and, what kind of different is that? I would have said, just better than what I feel now. Like I kind of would have, I already knew. So had she asked that, I would have just kind of been confirming, I hate to say it, but confirming it for her because I know exactly what I want.
Which is what we got. We understood that from you because we understand you. Yeah.
Exactly. And had she said, and what will feeling different, give you? What will feeling different do for you? I would say, well, hopefully it'll allow me to take action because I'm not taking action the way I feel right now. Again, I already have this information. I already know. It would be for her that I would express it.
And what I know about Jen is when I'm asking into things like that, even when she was sharing, her tone changes and she flips from feeling to thinking. She goes from here to here. And so me being okay with her just wanting to feel different, I allowed her to stay in a feeling space instead of switching back into her overthinky brain. So, yeah.
And that's from getting to know
together,
who you're working with. Yeah.
And we've coached with each other both ways. Yeah. We coach both ways. I'm sorry. I'm 5 years old. I'm 15. I'm 12.
That happened to us yesterday or today. I can't remember.
Yeah, it did. It happened to Lisa and I on a call. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
I'll have to hear about that off camera.
I want to hear Jerome's thoughts.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen you coach, Brooke, but I feel like you put a lot of intent in holding space and staying silent. I don't know if that's it's like I said, it's been a while, but it seemed like that was very intentional of you. Is that something that you went into that because you knew that was who you were coaching, knowing Jen, or is it just something you worked on?
It's one of the weird things with me is because in every other situation, I talk over people and I have ADHD and I don't have the patience to let people finish their thoughts. So when I sit down to coach, it is something I absolutely have to intentionally practice. It is something that I have to I settle in, I take a deep breath. My job is to hold space and focus on Jen and not let my ADHD needs to interrupt come up. So it is very intentional. And it is something that it is definitely a very different way I communicate than I do outside of this space. Yes, of course, I have moments outside of the space where I'm capable of being quiet and holding space, but the natural inclination is for me to do the opposite. So there's definitely, when I'm coaching, it's there's something in me that levels out and kind of calms down. Which is actually, now that you bring it up, kind of really cool because it's kind of oh, that's nice for me that there's a space that where I get to sit and be calm and relax and make it about somebody else. And that's an unexpected benefit because I feel very much calmer when I'm coaching than I do outside of that space because I know I have to be.
That is such amazing insight. I actually feel very similar, and I just realized that. I've never realized that. I am calmer when I'm coaching than I am just in regular life, interacting with people. That's so cool. Wow.
Noticed it at the beginning of last week's session when you kind of just immediately just walked away and melted into the session.
That's really cool. Thank you for that observation, Jerome.
Great,
that was really
great
cool.
call out.
Well, yeah, it was. I think the last time I saw you coaching, you were kind of
God knows.
jumping on the question a little faster.
It's very
This time
possible.
it was much calmer.
So there's something else I would love to share. Sometimes a client is unwilling to go to a deeper level, and that's not necessarily on you, the coach. It is in the moment. For some reason, I hear a cat.
It's mine.
Okay.
My cat Nick is
It's
underneath
my
me. He
cat
wants attention.
Okay. So the thing, knowing your client and getting to know your client, sometimes you're not getting into depth. Sometimes you're staying superficial until that relationship of the client coach builds and the trust is up leveled. And I just wanted for especially new coaches to recognize that sometimes the clients you're working with, if we're talking about mentoring and evaluation kinds of things, sometimes that's not the best client to have go over a session with your mentor with, because they're not really willing to go into that depth. And yet it's still, there's plenty to talk about in it, but just something to be aware of. The depth of your client doesn't make your coaching session good or bad. It just makes it where the client is willing to go in that moment. Yeah.
All right. I think with that, we should wrap up then our second CLCI Live, where we are inside of the coaching space.
Wait, do I get a second session? Do I get a follow-up?
If
You guys can do that on the
you.
Because next week is going to be Sam coaching Anthony.
We can
And
do
then-
the follow-up the last week. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's Sam and then
you and me, and I'll coach you again. Yeah, I love
Way to
that.
wrap it.
but I'm doing your follow-up.
But my follow-up isn't going to be as good because things have changed in my world.
Follow up. Whoever does it doesn't matter.
TBD. It'll be Jen or I in some capacity. We'll decide who needs the coaching more.
Or it could be
Two
Sam and
15-minute
Anthony for that
sessions.
matter.
Oh, it could be Sam and Anthony for that matter too.
We'll
Yeah.
do 2 15-minute sessions.
But next week, Sam is coaching Anthony. I'm very excited to see that. Ooh.
Yes.
Yippee.
Totally different style of coaching.
Excited.
Well, I don't know if coaching. Totally different style of client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This client
He's going to be a psycho client. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
This client's a troublesome client. I'll just do that.
All right. Well, thank you guys. For those of you who watch, please tune back in. Make sure you check out CertifiedLifeCoachInstitute.com. We will be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. with more live coaching. And to all of our alumni, tell your other alumni to watch these, as I'm sure it would be helpful for them. That was the whole reason that we did this. So
Yep. I watched so much coaching when I was going through mentoring, and it helped so much.
All right.